what can you tell us about the Paramount Group and what you're doing in the Middle East?
Well, Middle East is a very important market to us. This is the first time that we are exhibiting ourselves under the Paramount brand with a significant stand. And I think that demonstrates our interest and commitment to the market. It's of course a huge market and very competitive on top of it. So it's something that we are really committed to working on.
So I see a smaller version of the Marauder, which you recently introduced for the first time. How different is it from the bigger version?
I think obviously it shares its name with its bigger brother, but it is a completely different vehicle in a completely different class. Roughly 4 to 4.5 tons gross vehicle weight. So more a lightly protected utility vehicle, one which should have more mass market appeal to police forces, paramilitaries. Marauder by contrast is a 15 to 18 ton very highly protected, mine protected vehicle which has more military or peace support operation application.
Have any countries exhibited any interest in it so far at IDEX?
In the Marauder Patrol? Oh yes, absolutely.
So can you tell us about current contracts and competitions that are ongoing right now?
Well, shows are not about contracts, not for us in any case. I think this is a great opportunity to show the market what we have, to have a dialogue, and IDEX is a great place for business-to-business meetings. I think 90% of our time at this show is spent talking to partners, and those are arrangements which pay off maybe 2 or 3 years down the line.
So what exactly are you focusing on in the UAE?
Well, IDEX is obviously hosted by the UAE, that's the reason we're here. And of course we have a deep interest in the UAE, not only land forces equipment, but also increasingly in our aerospace and naval segments as well. Those are competences that Paramount has expanded into quite recently. So part of our presence at the show is talking to local partners. I think it's a little bit too early to give you any newsworthy stories on that, but certainly there is a lot of interest and a huge market opportunity for us there.
So acquisitions in the UAE? Partnerships, joint ventures?
Well, I don't think we're intending to acquire anything per se in the UAE, but certainly we're open to strategic partnerships, transfer of technology, joint cooperation across the spectrum of our competence. So we already have, as you might know, some such partnerships in place for land systems, and I'm sure there are more to come in the other segments in time to come.
And what about outside the Middle East?
Well, I think if you followed Paramount's trajectory, the first decade of our existence in the 90s was really, I would say, African focused, because that's when the wraps came off South Africa's industry. We were allowed to re-enter in a normal sense the defence and aerospace trade, and Africa as a continent was looking southward to South Africa for solutions, so that kept us very, very busy. But of course we're an expanding company, and there are many regions who have an interest in our technology and solutions. So today we're active not only in Africa, the Middle East, but also Asia. Latin America is a recent expansion. I think we're on the brink of announcing some very interesting, very exciting contracts in that region.
Can you give us a couple of hints?
We're keeping our powder dry. That's news for LAD in Rio in about 2 months' time.
So you said South America and Asia. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, I guess the nature of our business is such that contracts we are very happy to tell the press and the media about, but only once our customer has given the green light. So unfortunately I can't. We have significant contracts in both of those regions, but I'm not at liberty to
What about India?
Detail.
What about India?
India, we certainly do have an interest in that market. We have shown that interest in the past by developing indigenized versions of our product, but we have no contract news to announce at this point.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.